What's the biggest secret you're currently hiding? I've been secretly tutoring my professor's son for the past 6 months. Not just any professor, the professor. The one who failed me last year and forced me to retake his entire course. The one who publicly shredded my final project, told the class it was fundamentally flawed at every conceivable level, and gave me the lowest grade I've ever received. It started while I was working at the campus library's tutoring help desk. Pretty quiet gig. Mostly proofreading essays, and helping freshmen figure out how to use MLA formatting. One afternoon, this kid, maybe 13 or 14, came in looking totally defeated, clutching a wrinkled algebra worksheet and mumbling something about polynomials. I helped him out, walked him through factoring, simplified some examples, and gave him a few tricks I wish someone had told me when I was in middle school. His name was Dylan. Smart kid, just overwhelmed. At the end of the session, he asked if I could meet with him regularly. I said sure. I needed the money anyway. He handed me his parents' info to coordinate payments, and that's when I nearly choked on my coffee. Professor Mitchell. I stared at the name on the contact sheet for a good 30 seconds, thinking, there's no way. But there it was. Full name, department, faculty, email. That Mitchell. I almost backed out. Almost told the kid I didn't have the time. But Dylan looked so hopeful, and honestly, the idea of turning down money just because his dad happened to hate my academic existence felt petty. So I said yes. The first few sessions were weird. I kept waiting for Dylan to mention me to his dad. I figured the moment he connected the dots, I'd get a message from Mitchell demanding I stop corrupting his child's mind. But Dylan never brought it up, ever. Eventually, I asked if his dad knew he was working with a tutor. Sort of, he said. I told him I joined a study group. Apparently Mitchell's not big on the idea of his kid needing help. Something about pride, expectations, classic stuff. Dylan practically begged me not to say anything. Said if his dad knew he was being tutored, he'd either freak out or pull him from sessions altogether. So I kept my mouth shut. And honestly, Dylan's been awesome. Funny, curious, way sharper than he gives himself credit for. I've watched him go from barely scraping by to pulling solid B's. Last month, he texted me a picture of his first A, with 10 exclamation points and a gif of someone doing backflips. The weirdest part is how much I've learned in the process. Helping him with algebra forced me to relearn fundamentals, and it started bleeding into my own understanding. I began doing better in Mitchell's class. My assignments got tighter. My exam scores improved. My confidence came back. Then yesterday, Mitchell handed back our midterms. I got an A-, highest I've ever scored in that class. He paused at my desk, looked at my paper, and said, "Your work has improved dramatically. Whatever you're doing, keep it up." I wanted to laugh. He has no idea I've been spending every Tuesday and Thursday evening reteaching his own course material to his kid over Zoom. No clue that while he was assigning chapter reviews, I was breaking those same chapters down into cartoon diagrams and Minecraft analogies so Dylan could grasp them. Today, Dylan showed up to our session grinning ear to ear. He'd aced his latest quiz. I bought him a donut to celebrate. We sat in the library lobby, him explaining how he got question 5 on his own, and me pretending not to feel smug about it. Then, out of nowhere, Dylan said, "I think my dad's gonna nominate me for a summer math program." Apparently, Mitchell's noticed the improvement. Thinks his son's study group is working wonders. I asked if he was going to tell him the truth. Dylan shook his head. "Nope, not unless you want me to." We both kind of shrugged at the same time. Then we packed up and I walk-ed him outside. Professor Mitchell pulled up in his car, nodded at me as Dylan hopped in, and drove off. Still doesn't know.